This is Alley Catch, and you're watching Cool TV.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Wrestling 60, where we recap everything that happened this past week in the world of professional wrestling. I'm Xlj the Og, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, this week hailing from Bloomington, Indiana, home of the undefeated Hoosiers, Mr. B-Roll. See what I did there? Did you like that?
Yeah, how are we doing out there, world? Yeah, 9-0. In the top 10 now because the polls have already been released.
Let's go.
Shadow's excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna drop some maybe potential news that I haven't even told you yet, live on air, live in color.
Well,
I may be going to the game this Saturday.
Oh, let's go. That's exciting.
Maybe.
That's college football. This is a show about professional wrestling. And we got a lot to talk about because a lot happened this past week in the world of professional wrestling. So, Mr. B-Roll, if you could, hit us with that sweet line.
Hit us with that sweet line. It's better than sweet chin music. I'm Mr. B-Roll. He's Xlj the Og. This is PW60, where we sum up what happened in pro wrestling in 60 minutes or less, ish. And I say the clock starts now.
All right. Our top story this week is WWE Crown Jewel took place this past weekend from Saudi Arabia. And first off, what are your thoughts?
WWE Crown Jewel took place this weekend. Might as well call it WWE Crown I Don't Give a Fuck Jewel.
Thank you. Let's comment. I'm gonna start off with a hot take. I'm done with these fucking shows, B-Roll. I don't care. I don't care with all the build. Like, I do respect that they're starting to tell stories like on these shows and they do make them relevant. But it's just, to me, it's just so, and I'm not trying to get political here by any means, but I mean, come on. I just feel like this is just so corrupt and just fuck the Saudi Arabia shows. Like, they should be done and over with. They're not going to be done and over with because WWE is making way too much fucking money. But don't give me this bullshit about like, oh, we've done so many things like to make Saudi Arabia, to advance it. And it's like, and maybe to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, this is all about the fucking bottom dollar, which is this right here. Money, money, money. Dollar bills, yo. Like, let's just get into it and talk about Crown Jewel because honestly, like, the show itself was okay. I mean, there was some good matches, some solid matches, but it's just I didn't even bother watching this live, and to be completely honest with you. I caught the replay because the Saudi Arabia shows do nothing for me. I don't care for them. I wish they'd be done with them. Only thing I did like about them is how they started earlier, but now that WWE is expanding the horizons, going to all these other countries, I would love to see them go elsewhere and replace these damn Saudi Arabia shows, but it's not going to happen. Probably ever. I mean, shit, they even got like a freaking WWE tourist attraction there at Saudi Arabia. So, and don't even get me started about this bullshit right here. Like, and we're going to talk about it, but what the fuck? Like,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the weekend started on a sour note because we got introduced with like the belts and like,
I mean, let's talk about
not even going to be there.
Yes. Let's talk about how fucking pointless this is. Like, it was pointless to fucking begin with, okay? So, it's the two top champions in the women's and men divisions going against each other for the Crown Jewel Championship. The belt looks nice. Yes, I will say that. It's a little gaudy, but it's a championship wrestling, professional wrestling belt. So what do you expect? But when Triple H laid that stuff down at the presser or whatever, that the winner of the damn thing, they didn't even get to take the goddamn belt with them. It was like they held it for like a half hour or whatever, and then it went over to the fucking WWE Tourist Attraction thing, and then they get like a fucking ring. Like, just what the fuck are we doing here? Like, what in the name of dirty Saudi money is going on? This is just the stupidest fucking thing. Like, I absolutely hate it. Now, that being said, let's put the bullshit and the stupid, nonsensical crap aside. Matches were pretty decent. They weren't bad. Like Cody and Gunther was a pretty solid matchup. Um, I mean, once again, it was just hard for me to get into it because it's a fucking Saudi Arabia show, and I just B-roll. I just want to be done with these shows, but I know we're not, and I know we need to talk about this, but I'm to the point now where if it wasn't for this show, I wouldn't even be bothered watching these shows. That's just the way I feel. And to each his own, We hear, at PW60 and Cold TV, we don't want to be political, or, we want to let everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And this is just coming from me specifically.
Yep.
I don't care for these shows. They do nothing for me. So, what'd you think of Cody and Gunther?
Yeah, a solid match, honestly. And I hate saying this, but at the same time, I'm kind of surprised Cody won.
Yeah,
Um,
a little bit. I think it would have
uh,
probably done a little
uh,
bit more for Gunther if he had won it. But I mean, you got to send the crowd home happy, right? So I get why it went down.
yeah,
But
I don't know. I see Gunther as such a dominant champion, and
hmm
I don't know. Which I mean, like we said going into it, couldn't really see either one of them losing, but
no,
yeah, I mean, honestly, given the circumstances, this was a solid match. It
hmm
doesn't matter if the surrounding circumstances we're going to take something that's pointless and somehow make it even more pointless. But
yeah. Yeah,
that's
it
neither
just
here
left a
nor there.
sour taste in my mouth. It's like they purposely did this, and like, I'm sorry, Papa H. You can say all you want. Oh, I've dreamt about doing this champion versus champion. I'm wondering the what if of the best of the best. Blah blah blah. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. You're fucking doing this so there's another attraction over at your damn tour, your damn fucking Saudi Arabia WWE Disneyland or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like that was the whole fucking purpose of this shit, and I absolutely fucking hate it. But once again, I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent. We got more to talk about here, like the rest of Crown Jewels. So we talked about the men's. Let's talk about the women's. The women's matchup: Nia Jax going against Liv Morgan. Uh, I was a little surprised with the outcome of this, as Liv Morgan picking up the win against Nia, which I think was a smart decision. It just speaks volumes for her, and like you could easily say Liv Morgan very well is having the best year of her career, and she may very well end up going down as the female wrestler of the year. In all honesty, as good of a year as
Yeah.
she's had, this was huge for her. I think this did more for her than it would have done for Nia. In all honesty, but let's talk about the
Yeah.
elephant in the room here. I the Money in the Bank cash in shit with Tiffany Stratton. It's exceeded it. Like, I'm tired of this tease back and forth. What do I do? What do I do? Just make your fucking mind up and cash in. This is starting to kind of creep up to like what Damian Priest's cash in stuff was, where it's just there's too much back and forth. They did save it, of course, with the WrestleMania cash in, but they need to stop this shit with Tiffany Stratton. As far as I'm concerned, like, I'm tired of every damn PLE or pay per view. Damn it, you'll never get me to say PLE. um, even though you just did, but whatever. It's a dirty Saudi money show. What'd you think of this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like so Nia winning would have maybe been the more predictable outcome, because she does seem like the more dominant one. But I think it solidifies Liv a little more, and like you said, just what a year she is having.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think easily she could be considered the female wrestler of the year, because she
Yeah, and
keeps
you can
taking out
tell.
Rhea.
Yeah, and you can tell it really and we're gonna talk some more about that later. But you can really tell this meant a lot to her, which I appreciate. I think that's pretty cool. She kind of knows, like, wow, here I'm in this spot, regardless of the stupidity of it, of what they were doing with the belt. But still, for her to be kind of this accomplishment for her, I mean, it was good for her. It's good thing she got that championship belt for maybe 2 hours, and then had to give it away for a fucking ring. Anyways, God, I gotta let it go. But let's talk about this one big matchup for Crown Jewel. I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that they announced this. This 6-man tag with the Bloodline against the OG Bloodline. Of course, you got the reunited Usos going with Roman Reigns against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, along with Tama Tonga. Opening the show too, which I can't even remember the last time when Roman wasn't like in the last match on a pay per view. Um, was it a bad match? It was decent. It served its purpose, I suppose. But like, I just felt like Crown Jewel didn't really need this. Like they shouldn't have got this. Like I don't know. Maybe once again, I need to. Okay, okay. What were your thoughts on the 6-man tag? This is hard for me, brother.
Yeah, it was just kind of there, I guess. Did we progress storyline? Yeah, I guess we did a little
Yeah.
bit, but we
Well,
could
the
have
big
also progressed we could have also done it on SmackDown if you like. I
yeah, I
guess
would have
if you
preferred it
wanted
on
to be
SmackDown,
technical.
honestly. The big thing, of course, Sami Zayn coming out to make the save for the OG Bloodline, but then you get that moment where Sami accidentally Helluva kicks Roman, setting up some tension between them. But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We know where this is leading to. It's going to be the OG Bloodline against the Bloodline in War Games at Survivor Series, 4-on-4. And I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a fun matchup. It is going to be kind of interesting to see like how the story is being going to told in these upcoming weeks with Sammy, with Jay, Jimmy, and Roman, and how that's all going to work out. But um, I'm excited to
And
see that
where does
match.
Rock fit into all of this?
Where does The Rock fit? That's a good point. And I'm excited to see this match. I don't think this once again, I just got to get the mind off of my mind, and I apologize again. I don't like the Saudi Arabia shows. I'm going to say it one more time and I'm done. But yeah, I just really surprised this was at Crown Jewel. Would have much rather preferred it on SmackDown, but like you said, it served a purpose. It moved the needle along in this storyline with this bloodline versus the OG bloodline. So, like I say, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens weeks to come. Now this one, big grudge match coming out of Crown Jewel, been built up for a little while. We got Seth freaking Rollins going up against Bronson Reed, and I gotta say, man, this to me was match of the night. This was a damn good matchup. Um, I thought both these guys looked strong in this matchup. Especially like we talk about going over, getting over. I mean, I think they made Bronson Reed look like as much of a monster as he possibly could. Um, kind of toying with Seth during this time, but also making Seth look strong, like saying, "Hey, remember who I am? I'm Seth freaking Rollins," you know. So I thought this did quite well. I don't think we're nearly done with this rivalry between them. Of course, Seth picking up the win. But what do you think of this matchup, this grudge match from Crown Jewel?
Okay, so first big takeaway: Bronson Reed's ring gear, absolutely sick.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I loved his gear.
Absolutely sick. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I think we're just getting started with this.
Hmm.
It's man, it's funny how like 2 years ago, I think maybe, um, maybe more, but like Bronson Reed was on the independents again, right? He had
Yeah, I work in New Japan,
been at
I think.
WWE
Yeah.
in the yep, and just like man, he's just
See, that's what
They
happens
really are making
when you're properly booked. But
they
yeah,
really are making something out of him.
yeah, and I'm excited to see. I think this is a great first feud for him, and like I say, we know we're far from over. But of course, it had to be our match of the week this week on PW60 was the Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed encounter from Crown Jewel this past Saturday.
Oh,
And
and that stomp to the stairs. Ooh.
oh man, yeah, you're telling me. And speaking of brutality, this one, Randy Orton against Kevin Owens, which we really didn't get a matchup here. What the fuck? I mean, it just started off with a brawl. This ended in a no contest, if you want to call it that. Obviously, we're just getting cooking with these guys, with KO and Randy Orton. With the fact that the show had so many matches booked into it, I'm not shocked that this kind of went short and ended the way it did. But me personally, I would have liked to have seen more. But that makes me just wonder, like, because obviously this is going to be a feud going into Survivor Series. Because I honestly thought KO would be challenging Cody at Survivor Series, but I don't know. It may not be the case. It just makes me wonder who the hell is going to step up and challenge Cody Rhodes for that WWE Championship at Survivor Series, or do they got something else in mind for him? Who knows, right? But uh, nonetheless, KO and Randy Orton just getting started. Were you a little disappointed this kind of ended so abruptly as it did, or were you fine with the brawl that happened?
I was fine with it. But on the sense that it was on the pay-per-view, I don't know. Um, I guess kind of like why did we do it on the pay-per-view, I guess.
Yeah,
But I was fine with it. But
yeah, yeah. I mean, it wasn't necessary, but like I say, it happened, and now we're gonna see what happens next between these two competitors. I do want to point one thing out that I think is important for another story that's people I don't think have really been paying attention to. It's a very slow build, but there's this going to be this rivalry between Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, and
hmm
SmackDown and Raw's our GM managers. Because notice how Aldis was trying to help out. He got RKO by Randy Orton, a SmackDown guy, right? Or, I'm sorry, I said that wrong.
yeah,
Pierce was helping out, and he got RKO by a SmackDown guy. Um, just another reason for him to
yeah.
have some hatred towards Nick Aldis. I think honestly that somewhere down the line, and I'm hoping WrestleMania is going to lead to a Nick Aldis Adam Pearce match, which I think would be sick. Um, but yeah, I just want to
Uh,
throw that out there.
I don't know.
You don't know, huh? Well, we shall see. Well, LA Knight also competed in a triple threat match for his United States Championship against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. And LA Knight, of course, retains his U.S. Championship. This was a pretty decent three-way. Andrade looked like $1,000,000, like he always does.
Yep.
Carmelo too.
Yep.
So, yeah, this was just a fun matchup. Of course, kind of your semi-main spot too. But I mean, 'cause it went on right before the main event. But uh, kind of a predictable outcome, but still it was a good match, though. Did you like this matchup?
Yeah, it was fun. I will say, I'm kind of done though with the Andrade and Mello in the U.S. title picture. I,
Yeah, I agree.
I, I'm kind of ready for a new challenger.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
Yeah.
that's yeah, totally agree with that assessment. And speaking of challengers, we had three challengers for the women's world tag team titles at Crown Jewel. But you can see Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill did retain their championships against Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, Damage Control, and of course, a huge shout out to the girls from Meta 4 working their first major WWE pay per view event. Because you still got to pay some money, folks. Um, but I thought this was actually a fun matchup. You know, it was a pretty solid matchup. Once again, another one we knew the end results, but where it was placed on the show and stuff, it was just a solid encounter. Great to see the ladies all involved on the show, and no shocker here that Bianca and Jay Bertain. Let me ask you this: who do you think is going to take the belts off of them?
I have no idea. I I feel like we all are clamoring for. We know a split is happening, right?
Yeah,
We just don't know
100%.
when.
Yep.
Like I don't even look. I feel like we're gonna get it at WrestleMania. Like we're gonna
I
get
do
the
too.
match, but like
I do too.
I don't know. Like I could also see it like letting it cook a little bit longer.
Oh, they've already been
I don't
laying
know.
the seeds though for a
I
little while with this, so
yeah.
I mean, before too long,
It's
bro, we're
gonna
gonna be
take.
in WrestleMania season, so
I know. I know.
I'd let
I don't
him
know.
cook. Yeah, I think it's gonna happen. Just on, it's not really gonna be one specific team that does it. It's just gonna be a matter of like them imploding that cost them the belt. So who's that to? Well, who
Yep.
knows? Your guess is as good as mine. But like I say, Crown Jewel was this past Saturday. You know my thoughts on it, and we're just gonna leave it at that. Man, God, I just need some tips from my dad. Oh, it's a perfect segue. Let's go to Dad Hat with Dad Hat's tip of the week here on PW60.
It's that time of the week again. Dad Hat's Life Lessons of the Week. Brought to you by World Championship Wreckage. Find them on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And also by the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. every Wednesday, twitch.tv/Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. And now, here's Dad Hat.
All right, kids, always remember, you get a new prize, it can disappear like that. Just because you bought it, just because you earned it, doesn't mean it can't be taken away in a split second.
I understand there's a little twist on this because these actual titles will stay in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, these titles will stay here in Saudi Arabia.
The Crown Jewel Championship, the first ever women's Crown Jewel champion with Triple H. The official presentation now. Ken Nightmare, the undisputed WWE champion, and now the first ever men's Crown Jewel champion.
Oh, Dad Hat, you're right, buddy. God. Like I say, I think that's the single-handedly the thing that just set me off the edge and said, fuck this show the whole weekend. But anyways, we're done talking about Crown Jewel. There's so much more that happened this past week in the world of professional wrestling. One of the big things that happened was AEW's Dynamite from this past Wednesday night. It was Fright Night. It was a big night as we got to see some big moments happen, and one of them was this one right here to kick us off. Private Party going against the Young Bucks for the Tag Team Championship. And remember, if Private Party lost this matchup, they would have to split up. Well, guess what, folks? We've got new AEW Tag Team Champions. Private Party has finally done it. They have finally arrived. They won the tag team titles, and thus their tag team partnership will go on. But it looks like the Young Bucks are going to be leaving AEW for a little while now, huh? I know you're a big tag team guy, and I believe you're kind of a big fan of a Private Party. How happy were you to see them finally get the gold? Because this was long overdue.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I may get on my high horse a little bit here, because I saw a lot of comments and stuff and takes and stuff that this was lazy storytelling. But
Really?
honestly, it really wasn't. If you think back to the history of the Young Bucks and Private Party, and what they put together in these past couple of matches and weeks, I mean, it's been one of the more interesting things AEW has done recently.
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, and I mean, I couldn't imagine them losing, them not winning the belts. But I mean, I was ready for it at Wrestle Dream.
Right, yeah.
So I mean,
yeah. And it puts them in a great spot too, because that's what AEW. It seems like the initiative now is to build up this younger talent who maybe necessarily was kind of pushed for a minute and then just put to the wayside, and and now we're trying to focus on this town. I mean, I think this is the first kind of big move in if this is that new era in All Elite Wrestling, and I was happy to see it. These guys totally deserve it. Love Private Party, and of course, they had to be our wrestlers of the week this week here on PW60 as they are your new AEW World Tag Team Champions. Let's talk about the rest of Dynamite, which was a solid show from start to finish. Kicking off, of course, with the Orange Cassidy promo as he is going to now take up the mantle, if you will, of defending AEW against this new Jon Moxley group, as they will officially now meet in full gear for the AEW World Championship, where Orange Cassidy will challenge Jon Moxley. Kicked off the show with Adam Cole, baby, back in the ring with going up against Buddy Matthews, and now it looks like we're going to get Adam Cole, Malachi Black, which I think is cool, but Adam Cole, I love you to pieces. I do. Respect the hell out of you. But please, for the love of God, stop with the fucking spray tan. You looked like you had jaundice on Dynamite, dude. Like, it's just getting way out of hand. I'm just saying. Fuck. Hit a tanning bed if you have to, man. And I'm as white as a ghost, so, like, you don't take advice from me or whatever. I get it, but I'm just saying the spray tan's getting a little out of hand. Anyways, also, what about that Kyle Fletcher promo? And then we got to see the return of Aussie. Hoi, hoi, hoi. Mark Davis with the most bodacious booty in all of All Elite Wrestling making his return.
No kidding. But,
all right.
Yeah,
maybe get something out of that.
Yeah, I do like it. I like him confronting him, and
Yeah.
I'm here for it and ready to see what happens.
I agree. And then, of course, Camille going up against Chris Statlander, and Chris Statlander getting a big win. It looks like she's going to be challenging for that TBS championship, presumably at Full Gear. But that main event, Shelton Benjamin going up against Swerve Strickland. Swerve picking up the win. But the big moment of the night, we got to talk about it. Because, baby, business is good. That's right. Bobby Lashley is officially All Elite, and the Hurt Syndicate is now in AEW. You got MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley here. I'm excited to see these guys reunited. What does this mean for All Elite Wrestling, though? Now we got Bobby Lashley in AEW.
Now, you know me.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been the biggest Bobby Lashley guy.
Right.
But I do like this group. And I feel like this feud with Swerve is going to be really, really good, really interesting. But after that, I don't know. I don't really. We're going to see where we go from there.
I will say this. I think there was an interesting.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah. I will say this. I think there's an interesting statistic floating around there that Bobby Lashley and MVP are the only guys ever to work together in TNA, WWE, and now AEW, which I think that's pretty cool. So, but yeah, great to see Bobby Lashley again, and hopefully he doesn't get lost in the shuffle as so many guys do there in AEW. But let's see what happens. Let him cook. I think the Swerve feud's gonna be a good one to start off with. So, and we will just go from there. But let's talk about the rest of All Elite Wrestling shows from this past week. We talk about Rampage from Friday night. We got La Faction Ingobernale in a big 6-man going up against the Butcher, JD Drake, and Beef. I love that. We got some more beef. Love us some beef. We love our beef, don't we, here, B-Roll?
Yes, indeed. We're not vegetarians here.
No. Taya Valkyrie was in action as well. Queen Aminata going up against Layla Gray, and Top Flight against the Dark Order in that main event. Rampage, decent show, fun show. That's the way I can describe it. It was a fun show. And then we talk about Collision from this past Saturday. Of course, we got the Private Party Celebration, and we did find out we're going to get a series of matches to determine their contenders going into Full Gear. How about Thunder Rosa going up against Harley Cameron in a what was it, the Dia de los matchup, a Day of the Death matchup or something like that. That was like, that came kind of out of nowhere with Harley Cameron, but man, like, kudos to Harley Cameron. Like, she's making that shit work. Like, which everything she's doing in AEW, you don't see her a ton, but like every time she's on the screen, man, she is making an impact. Let's put it that way. But that was a great matchup. Love that matchup.
Like
Dude, that drop kick spot.
Utility player.
Yeah, she's doing a great job, and I'm glad to see her being utilized more. Man, talk about great matches. Kyle Fletcher and Commander had a great damn matchup. As the kids say, it was a banger. That was incredible. Of course, we got John Moxley coming out and doing his thing, his romper stomper thing. And then we ended up getting an impromptu match with Pac going up against Action Andretti. But that main event, let's talk about Mariah May defending against Anna Jay for the Women's Championship. Solid matchup. But Mariah May does retain her AEW Women's Championship. But overall, pretty solid week for AEW as we are on the road to Full Gear. Well, my friends, it is that time of the show. Let's spice things up a bit. Let's go to Spicy Guac with a spicy take. You got me. I thought you were going to do it, bro. Well, let's go back to WWE and let's talk about what happened this week on WWE television. As we know, it was the go-home shows for Crown Jewel. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw first, which was a solid show from beginning to end. I really feel like this 2-hour format is working for them. I'm really enjoying Raw here lately. Of course, we got some fun matchups on the show. Of course, Ivy Niley going up against Selena Vega. The New Day against the LWO and the War Raiders in that number one contenders triple threat matchup. Of course, the War Raiders picking up the win. Happy to see that. The continuing build with the Wyatt Six and the Final Testament and the Miz, and now they've kidnapped the Miz, and nobody knows where the fuck he is. But hey, it is what it is.
The Miz gets kidnapped a lot.
He does. Yeah. What's up with that? Come on, Mike. Get with it. Jeez. You've been in the WWE how long? And then, of course, in the main event, Dirty Dom picking up a win against Damian Priest. He's saying, hey, he needs to be the next in line to challenge for that world championship. Well, he's going to have a shot, but he's got 3 other competitors he's going to have to go through on Monday Night Raw tonight to become that new number one contender for Gunther. But for the vast majority of Monday Night Raw, it was dominated by the reunion of the Usos, which I love seeing this, man. So many different segments they did throughout the night, and it's just, I don't know, feels good, right? Just it warms the heart knowing that the Usos are back together. Like, I love to see this Jimmy and Jay, the back and forth, and then of course teasing with Sami Zayn talking to Solo, and then having the confrontation with Jimmy Usos. We're laying the seeds for that. But wasn't it just great seeing the Usos back together, though?
Yeah, it is. And we saw what it was with their WrestleMania. As big of a star as Jay is, as a single star, and even Jimmy to a certain extent, they are better together, I think.
Yeah. It's good to see them back. So, but I do kind of want to see them still push Jay, like as main event Jay, and then but we'll see what happens. Let's talk about SmackDown from this past week. As once again, it was the go home show going into Crown Jewel. We got Liv Morgan going up against Tiffany Stratton. Of course, that confrontation there with the whole like, hey, if I cash this in, does I get Dirty Dom too? Man, all the ladies want Dirty Dom. Can you blame him though? I guess that mustache, man. I bet he gives killer mustache rides in the locker room. Anyways, also on Friday Night SmackDown, we got to see the Street Profits go up against Pretty Deadly. Naomi and Bailey going up against Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, and that has some significant meaning, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And of course, but the big news story coming out of this, Roman Reigns said yeet. That's right. As the OG bloodline reuniting, going into their matchup for Crown Jewel. So, but let's talk about the show that consistently delivers on a weekend basis for WWE. Let's talk about NXT from this past Tuesday night. And this is a big show going into, as we have got a show this Wednesday, not Tuesday, but NXT is going to be this Wednesday from the ECW Arena. We got the Wednesday Night Wars getting reunited again here this upcoming Wednesday, but I'm excited about that. But let's talk about NXT from this past Tuesday. First of all, the opener, Tatum Paxley against Wendy Chu in a casket match. And can we just acknowledge Wendy Chu's fit? Like, both of them look great, but Wendy Chu coming out looking like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Holy crap, that was sick. And the match itself was great too. What do you think of the casket match?
Yeah, it was great, and really, I mean, a lot of wrestlers and talent. The gear with it being Halloween and everything, absolutely sick.
Oh my
or
god,
close to
you're telling me.
Halloween, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, you had the stuff with Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley. Bubba Ray saying, "No, I'm not going to be your partner." Then at the end of the night, says, "Okay, I will be your partner." So we're going to get that match up at the ECW Arena with Trick and Bubba Ray against Ridge Holland and All Ego Ethan Page. Also, Charlie Dempsey retained his NXT North American NXT Heritage Cup against Lexis King. And we got the in-ring debut of Saraya. Did I say that right? Why can't we just call her Delta? Delta 2.0. But no, the in-ring debut of her, as she had a successful, and the big brawl there with the women too at the end of this that. And how about Jordan Grace coming out? We're getting this huge 10-woman tag matchup this week on NXT as well. Also, you see Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam there. He'll be at the ECW Arena. We don't officially know in what capacity, but he says he's got an idea. Also, we know Dawn Maria, another ECW original, is going to be at NXT in Philly this week. She's going to be a special guest referee in the Lola Feist Jada Parker street fight. And I also believe they announced too Francine. It will be at the ECW Arena as well. So we're going to see a ton of ECW alumni, I'm sure, at this upcoming show Wednesday. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be extreme. And then, of course, to round out the show in the main event, we got to see Nathan Frazier and Axiom once again retain their tag team titles against Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander. But yeah, I'm pumped for this upcoming NXT this Wednesday night, and it's going to be interesting to see this Wednesday Night War revived again. And also on NXT too this week, we got a special appearance from one Rhea Ripley, Mommy, but it didn't end well for Mommy, did it? Oh no! As Mommy was taken out by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And it looks like she is going to be out for an extended period of time, too, unfortunately, as she has a broke orbital socket. So we here at PW60 wish Rhea well. Hopefully we get to see her very soon back in the ring, but you hate to see this. And, oh, God, Mommy. I don't like this image of Mommy. Yeah, it sounds awful. Like, just, ugh. Poor Mommy. But Mommy's still always on top. So, well, it's that time of the show, my friend. Let's go to our good friend Sienna with some advice for us professional wrestling fans.
So I got hella people DMing me and asking me so much about this. And I know everybody in the mama all over on social media has been talking about it, expressing their grievances and excitement and everything. I'm going to say this. You have every right to feel how you feel. Well, you're for it, you're against it, you're looking forward to it, or even worry about if it's going to be a similar situation over in the UK 5+ years ago. The thing of the matter is that wrestling is changing and it's evolving for a long period of time. Where there's just one company that is like the quote-unquote end-all be-all, which honestly it's not. that's going to be hijacking like some indie promotion, or is it going to be for the rival companies itself? At the end of the day, all I can say is that we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen. But for now, please continue on to support independent wrestling. There are plethora of independent wrestling all across the state. Hell, even in the world too. Whether it's just like local, upcoming, or even like huge as well. And plus, there are so many wrestling schools that you can continue on to support. And to the ones that's going to be having the dream to make it to the wrestling industry, like, just pick out what you feel like going based on your vibes and everything. At the end of the day, support independent wrestling no matter what. Wrestling itself is evolving, whether it's the good, the bad, the ugly, and etc.
Oh, truer words could not be said, my friend. Thank you so much, Sienna. Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, that segues into our next story we're going to talk about here. WWE officially announced the WWE ID program this past week, the Independent Developmental Program, where they're kind of going to be giving their seal of approval, if you will, to a couple of different independent and wrestling training schools. If you look at it honestly, though, who they've gotten so far, I mean, it makes sense because this is all like people who are affiliated with WWE anyway. You got Booker T's school involved, the Nightmare Factory of Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins school out of Iowa is involved with them, and a couple other promotions. I see both sides of the spectrum on this because I mean there is the past with like how the debacle of NXT UK went. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. I would have thought that if it was under a different regime, if I'm being honest with you. Maybe I'm naive in saying that, but I still think at the end of the day, independent wrestling is going to strive and it's going to be it's better than it's ever been because there's just so much wrestling out there and so many wrestling fans that want to consume it. I know Shadow has her thoughts on WWEID.
Very passionate about it.
Yes.
I will not translate what she said.
Okay.
Because it might get us canceled.
Oh gosh, Shadow, very strong with her opinions. What do you think of WWEID?
She's not a fan. She's not a fan.
Oh wow.
It's a wait and see, right?
Yeah.
It's a wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna give them. I don't know. I'd like you say. Let's see what happens with it. I'm not necessarily gonna say it's like the end of the world, like a bad thing, but time will tell what's gonna happen with WWEID. But some big news coming out of the WWE this past week. We did find out that there's officially 3 releases coming from the company. Baron Corbin, along with Tegan Knox, and Indy Hartwell, all are done with the WWE. Not shocked on Tegan Knox because they ain't been doing shit with her. Not really shocked on Baron Corbin either because there wasn't a whole lot. I was a little surprised with Indy Hartwell, a little bit, because I mean, shit, she was just on Friday Night SmackDown. I hate to see that for her, but whatever she does, it's like she's gonna kill it. Same with the other 2 as well. And Baron Corbin been with the WWE forever. I mean, he's such a talented dude, honestly, outside WWE. Who knows? I know he does he likes to cook and has that TikTok where he does a lot of cooking and stuff. So maybe he's gonna do something with that. I mean, the sky is the limit for all 3 of these wrestlers. So we here at PW60 and Cole TV want to wish them well and whatever they do next. But we do still kind of wonder though too with Baron Corbin. Like I say, he's such a seasoned veteran in the WWE. What is he gonna do next? So just happened to be our good close friend. The Best Scout Machine's got some thoughts on this. So let's go to the Best Scout Machine with his thoughts on where Baron Corbin could land next.
P-Dub City. It is I, the notorious BGM, and I have to tell you, man, our hearts are broken. America is broken, knowing that Baron Corbin, formerly known as Happy Corgan, will be leaving the WWE, and that leaves a gaping hole in all of us. Because, who else is going to retire John Cena? No one else is going to retire John Cena. This man was going to retire him. But it leaves a question, what's next for him? Now he's leaving WWE. Where is he going to go? AEW? I think I think I know where he's gonna go. Take my hand. We're gonna go on a journey. Like, obviously, he's gonna go with a competitor. Probably not AW, probably TNA. Good Lord, can you just see him main eventing against all odds, or one sacrifice against, going up against Matt Hardy, or Nick Nemeth, or Jordan Grace? Yeah, I can see it. And the man is so multi-talented. It doesn't have to just be wrestling. He could also work for Wendy's. He could work in a Wendy's drive-thru giving out Frosties. Delicious Frosties. Yum, yum, yum. Don't stop there. He could also be every young boy's dream, a garbage man. You know he got the skills that pays the bills. Shit, he could be a backup dancer for Megan Thee Stallion. Right? Mm? He could also be Godzilla? Or constantly homeless? Huh? Hey, who's in my room? Oh, shit. The jig is up. Bye. Dude, is someone recording in there? Hey. Who is using my phone? Who is recording Baron Corbin jokes on my phone? I'm going to get to the bottom of this. But first, the towel comes off. Oh, gosh. On occasion, you do make me laugh. But soon, you won't be around, along with all the other goats. There will be only one. Only one true king.
Okay. Hey, well, that was interesting. I thought maybe the Gout Universe Killer was done for, but apparently not. So, well, thank you so much, Best Gout, and your alternative Best Gout there for that report. But let's talk about TNA Impact from this past Thursday, as it was the follow-up from Bound for Glory. Look at fucking Kazarian over here trying to be a cross between like Joe Hendry and fucking the Billy Shamwow guy or whatever, It's like, what the hell is going on here? Coming out with a full cosplay as Joe Hendry. Of course, that segment leading into the tag match main event later on that night with the System going up against Nemeth and Joe Hendry. Shadow's a big fan of the TNA Impact as well, isn't she? We also got
making her opinion heard.
Yes, she wants to be heard. We also got First Class going up against the Rascals on this show. Lei Ying Lee was in action as well. Going up, and we got to see Savannah return went back to TNA wrestling. It's been a while since we've seen her. But the big story coming out of that weekend of tapings in TNA wrestling, we got to talk about it. Some sad news. Chris Bay suffering a very serious injury, a neck injury. He did have neck surgery to repair it, but he is going to be out for a very significant period of time. We here at PW60, we want to wish him well and just hope every recovery and everything goes great. And you can support him. I know there's I believe there was a GoFundMe for the surgery cost, as well as I believe he's got a shirt over on Pro Wrestling Tees, where 100% of those profits go towards him. And there's some other avenues out there you can support Chris Bay. But tremendous athlete. You hate to see this man, but I really hope he's going to be okay. We would, like I said, we would definitely want to wish him well. We had another injury coming out of the Impact tapings as well. God, we hate this one too. El Faikino once again getting hurt. Although it doesn't look like this is as serious as an injury as before. I don't know what the anticipated date for him to come back, or do you know the full extent of the injury? Because I think we haven't really been told a whole lot other than something related to the leg, I believe.
Yeah, it did check out. and from what he posted, at least, it should take only like 2 to 3 weeks to recover.
So that shouldn't be too bad. So, well, like I say, we here at PW6, we want to wish him well and hope he is going to be a-okay. Some other news coming out for TNA this past week. A lot of people were critical of AJ Styles not going into the TNA Hall of Fame, that WWE was holding him back, so to speak. Well, that wasn't actually the case at all, because AJ Styles actually flat out said he did not want to go into the Hall of Fame just yet because he's still an active wrestler. So, seeing that he hasn't officially retired, he's not quite ready for the Hall of Fame, and you got to respect that. But there's going to be a day when he goes into that Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame, and so many more Hall of Fames, and we do hope AJ gets healed up from his injury, and we get to see him back in the ring as well. Also this week, God damn it, it came out that Goldberg is going to do his retirement match next year. I don't really fucking care. You know my thoughts. I'm sorry. I want to try to be biased, but fuck Bill Goldberg. You know where he is on the totem pole of people I fucking hate in wrestling. He's right below Hogan and fucking McMahon. But fuck Bill Goldberg. I guess you're gonna wrestle one last match. I swear to God, if it's against fucking Gunther and Gunther puts you over, that's a crock of shit. But anyways, I digress. This got announced, so yay. But yeah, Bill Goldberg's last match is in 2025. Who gives a fuck? This is interesting though. We got Eric Bischoff for one night only. Will be taking over MLW. That's right. It's gonna be Eric Bischoff's one shot. That will take place December 5th, Queens, New York. And I don't think Bischoff's ever been in MLW before. What do you make of this? Are you kind of intrigued? Are you excited for what this could potentially lead to?
It will be interesting for sure. You know, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. But I'm interested to see some of the choices that are made.
Yeah.
See what he does with Alex Kane. Maybe I'm interested.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Let the man cook. Oh, you know what? We love our wrestling content creators here at PW60. And this week, our Ruby Ringside Wrestling Content Creator of the Week is none other than Gino Hernandez 86. I absolutely love what he's doing. The promo, these voice dubs are fucking hilarious. Like, seriously, do yourself a favor, go check him out on TikTok. Go follow him on all the socials. He has a YouTube channel as well, as you see, Porterhouse Media. And these videos, like I say, they're freaking hilarious. So go give him a follow, because Gino Hernandez 86 is our Ruby Ringside Content Creator of the Week this week here on PW60. And this was some sad news, man, that came out this past week. El Phantasmo, ELP, announcing that he does have some cancer. Is going to have to take some time away. It does sound to me, though, like this is something that is very treatable. So thank God for that. But you hate to hear this with ELP. But we here at PW6, we want to wish him well in his recovery and hope everything goes smooth. But on a positive note, we got us a baby. That's right. We got Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker announced the birth of their first child, their daughter. And ironically enough, she was born on Halloween. Of course she was. So, also too, I believe the name is after Dakota Kai, her Ruby's partnership with Dakota Kai in Shimmer, I believe it was, or something like that, or in Stardom or something. But I think that's pretty cool. But congratulations to both of them. Awesome to see. You love to hear news like this. And in our last three this week, this is really exciting because, yes, the Best Bout Machine is returning to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He will be at Power Struggle on November the 4th, which, typically speaking, that is like one of the big shows as it's a go-home kind of going into Wrestle Kingdom. So, B-roll. I asked you the question, does this mean we are that much closer to an in-ring return from the Best Bout Machine?
I don't know. I think we'll just have to wait and see, because it does just say special guest appearance.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying here.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign. I'm saying I don't think we see him return at the Power Struggle by any means, but I do think he announces he's going to have some involvement in the Tokyo Dome shows coming up in January. Let's put it that way. So, but I hope that's the case. Can't wait to see it. And oh boy, we are long overdue for the best bout machine to return to the professional wrestling ring. What? For this past week in the world of professional wrestling. And we got another big week ahead of us. As we got Monday Night Raw tonight. We got this Wednesday Night War with NXT going to be at the ECW Arena. And, of course, AEW on the road to Full Gear is closer and closer. Well, we thank you so much for joining us here tonight on PW60. And everybody having a safe and amazing week. And we'll see you next week on another episode of PW60. Take care. Bye.